Namaste and welcome to Yoga Story Daily Dose of Yoga. We're moving through a Yin Yoga series this month and today talking about camel pose. So camel pose in its full expression can actually be a much more active pose and difficult, very difficult to get into, particularly if you have some low back restriction, if you have some hip restrictions. It can be a very difficult pose to get into. So I'll give a quick demo, as quick as I can, safely can, of our full or toward full expression of camel pose, which here I'll actually use blocks to bring my heels a little bit higher. So you start on your knees or on your shins, curling the toes under and bringing the fingers to the space at the back of the hips, thumbs to the front of the hips. We're first finding some length, opening through the shoulders, lengthening through the crown of the head, finding a breath in. And then on your breath out, keeping the inner thighs strong, gently extend through the spine and drop the head back, and then release the hands to the heels or to blocks. And to come out, bringing the fingers back to the back, chin up toward the chest, draw the belly in, and come back to center, relax the arms. But again, that spinal extension can be very intense, particularly if you've never or rarely come into a pose like that. It can be a lot. So we're going to use a chair behind us to give us a little bit more support. And you might also bring a blanket underneath the knees, both to protect the knees if you happen to be, especially if you happen to be on a harder surface, but also that will bring the floor a little bit closer to you. Here, toes are curled under, and we're bringing the chair close as you can. Bring the hands, drop the hands to the chair legs, or you can start with the hands just on the top of the seat. So let's start actually with the hands on top of the seat. And then here again, finding that breath in, length, and pressing and lifting through the hips, lifting through the belly. Here, we're going to drop the forearms to that chair, to the seat of the chair. Keep the hips drawing forward and lifted, and then drop the head gently to the back of the chair. So the back of the chair will give some support to the back of the head or to the top of the head here. You can also bring the hands to the chair legs, just keeping those chair legs connected to the ground here so that the head doesn't pull you back. And then when you're ready, again, pulling in through the belly, bring the forearms back up, press through the forearms, drop the chin toward the chest, and gently come back up. So even that can be a little bit intense, particularly for the knees, because we are having a deep flexion through the knees, particularly through the front of the hips, because that is really lengthening through our hip flexors. Can be intense, particularly if your hip flexors are very tight or very tense already. And then again, the spine. If you're not used to moving into that spinal extension, it can be a lot on the spine. So do move slowly, listen to those body cues, what you need. And when you come out, come into a nice neutral spine. You might lie on your back, sit on your knees. You can just come to a nice position on the shins, staying nice and tall. Maybe take some side body stretches to stretch that out a little bit. And know that you never have to fully come into that. So you can always just, maybe you're just here today, and then eventually you drop the forearms, drop the hands, and maybe even eventually come into that full expression of camel pose. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Yoga Story, Daily Dose of Yoga. Peace.